Well, guys, I think it's safe to say that E3 is officially done. It's officially over. I don't think it's ever coming back at this point. It's just dead in the water. RIP E3. It's a sad day. It's a very sad day. We talked about something, what was it? Well, obviously last year we talked about the fact that it was canceled then, but then we were talking about how, E3 was planned for this year. Everything was good to go. They were going to do this, they're just going to bring it back in full swing. But then, a bunch of companies started to drop out, right? Obviously, PlayStation dropped out of E3 a number of years ago. But then as of late, Xbox dropped out as well. And they were going to do their own thing, just kind of like how PlayStation was doing their own thing. Ubisoft was doing Ubisoft Forward. EA dropped out, a number of years ago, and they started doing, EA Play or whatever. All around the same time frame too, since everybody was going to be in LA. Anyways, for E3, and then Nintendo dropped out earlier this year. And that was, we talked about that, I think a couple months ago or something like that. But now E3 is officially done. Like, it is done. It is over. It is not coming back. I mean, it's done this year. They're saying it's canceled this year, but I don't think it's ever coming back. So we're going to go through what I'm talking about. First, let me just throw up the tweet from E3 themselves, straight from the mouth of the horse, for lack of a better phrasing, and we'll see what they say. So, as you guys can see, they said, news on E3 2023 from the source. ReedPop and the Entertainment Software Association, ESA, have announced that both the digital and physical events for E3 2023 are canceled. That's it. That's literally all they said. That's it. Just there. Over. Which is pretty crazy. It's literally just all they said. They didn't say anything else beyond that. That's all they said. And just like a couple days prior, like about a week prior, they were talking about how, they were stoked for E3 and whatnot. I don't know, man. It's crazy. So E3 is over, but there's a little bit more context to it. Okay. So, IGN actually noted something. They said, following the report, the ESA issued following public statement from Kyle Marsden-Kish, if I'm pronouncing that right. I don't know. Global VP of Gaming, ReedPop. Okay, so they added a little bit of extra context there. So I'll throw that up on screen. You guys can take a look. We'll read through it. They said, this was a difficult decision because of all the effort we and our partners put toward making this event happen. But we had to do what's right for the industry and what's right for E3. We appreciate and understand that interested companies would not have playable demos ready, and the resourcing challenges made being at E3 this summer an obstacle they couldn't overcome. For those who did commit to E3 2023, we're sorry we can't put on the showcase you deserve and that you've come to expect from ReedPop's event experiences. End quote. They also added beyond that ReedPop and the ESA will continue to work together on future E3 events. So apparently they're still hopeful for E3 in the future. I'm not, though. I'm not. And the reason I'm not is because everybody's dropped out at this point. Every single company almost that really mattered, anyways, that would make E3 has dropped out. Like I said, EA dropped out a number of years ago for EA Play. PlayStation dropped out a number of years ago. And they started doing their own thing. They had their PlayStation presentation. I forget what they call it. Not the State of Play. I guess they've been calling it that as of late. But anyways, so PlayStation had their thing, and then Microsoft announced, Xbox could be dropping out. Like I said, they're going to do their own kind of Xbox presentation, or actually, I think they called it Xbox Direct or something like that, right? Wasn't it Direct presentation or something? Like literally copying Nintendo's homework. At least PlayStation changed the name. Xbox is like, whatever. And then Nintendo just completely dropped. And Nintendo always did digital events anyways. At E3, they would always have a digital presentation. But then you would have all the booths, right? You'd have the demos, things like that as well. And so, it was always fun. E3 was always something that was super, super fun. I never got to go personally in person, but I loved watching it online. I loved watching all the presentations, all the coverage, the people that were there that would post stuff on social media like Twitter and YouTube videos and stuff. One of my fondest, memories of watching E3 was, when the Switch was coming out with Breath of the Wild, and there was the whole, Breath of the Wild booth at Nintendo, and I was seeing people play that. And it's just, even though I never been there personally, I have good memories with it. Most people do, and it's really sad. I would hope and love to see it come back full swing one day, but I don't know if it will. Obviously, you know, Jeff Keighley's been doing Summer Games Fest, and he's kind of like almost tacked on certain things that are happening around that month. I don't think it's actually officially part of Summer Games Fest, but it's almost like, oh, this is happening. Yeah, this is part of Summer Games Fest. And he just kind of says it because he's like covering it, but it's not actually like directly part of Summer Games Fest. And by doing that, it was kind of, you know, a smart marketing kind of strategy on his part. That said, Summer Games Fest, yeah, they'll you know, sometimes they'll have some, you know, exclusive trailers there too and whatnot, and the coverage is cool, but it still doesn't replace E3. It still doesn't really compare. You know, we also got the Game Awards, which I think is great and does things, you know, on a pretty epic level in that sense. But again, it's not the same thing. So I don't know. It's a little bit disappointing that it's just, you know, it's not really going to be the same vibes, even with Summer Game Fest, even with each company doing their own thing. You know, it's still nice for all those of us at home. Obviously, you know, nothing really changes on that front. We're still going to be covering everything the same way. You know, I'm still going to be, you know, reacting to and live streaming all the presentations. But, you know, it's still kind of disappointing because the vibe is different, right? There was a vibe with E3. If you know what I mean, right? And so it kind of sucks that it's like that's not really happening. Now, obviously, the event, you know, these events were kind of put off. You know, the event was canceled in 2020 due to the vid. You know, I'm still being careful saying the full word because I don't know if YouTube's still demonetizing people for saying that word, which I don't know why they would in the first place. But anyways, and then there was a digital version that I guess was held in 2021, but then was canceled again in 2022. I don't know, man. There was just a bunch of stuff. Then you know, they were trying to focus by canceling the 2022. They're trying to focus to basically revitalize the showcase. So it set a new standard for hybrid industry events. And then it just flopped again because again, you know, with E3 2022 had been canceled. Multiple huge names, like I said, Xbox, Nintendo, PlayStation, EA, Ubisoft, a bunch of them just weren't going anymore. Ubisoft's doing their own Ubisoft Forward, and I don't know, man. I guess look, they're saying that they're going to work on whatever's in the future, but it's been like how many years in a row now? It's just like every year they're like, we're going to try to make this happen next year, and then it gets canceled. And we're going to try to make this happen next year, and it gets canceled. And it's just like at this point, it's like I don't see it coming back. I mean, it sucks to say. You know, it makes me sad, but I just don't see it. And maybe I could, you know, I'd be hopeful, but will all these other companies jump back on board? I don't know. I don't know if they will. I really don't know that they will. And that part makes me kind of sad and disappointed because, you know, like I said, E3, I think it holds a special place in a lot of our hearts, you know, no matter if we're people who have attended all the E3s or have only watched at home. Either way, it's always been kind of like a super massive celebration and exciting time for games and what's upcoming in the gaming world. And I don't know, but now I don't know. It is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think it'll actually make a comeback? And do you think it even can at this point? Or do you think it's just dead in the water and it's over? Let me know. Be sure to stick around for more. We do a variety of gaming content. We talk about the games like this. Obviously, we play the games as well here on the channel. And it's just best of both worlds. I have a blast doing both. I love talking about it and I love playing it. So I hope you guys enjoy that too. Stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, game on. Catch you guys later.